Here are the 4 simple things you can do to increase your Social Security benefit in retirement. In this video, we're going to cover how Social Security calculates your benefit and how to maximize your lifetime income from this. I'm Cary Green, financial advisor and co-founder of Green Era Financial, and I'm here to help you to get the most out of life with your money. So before we get into the 4 steps to maximize your Social Security benefit in retirement, let's go over how Social Security works. So the first thing to know is how Social Security is funded. When you look at your paycheck, you'll see something on there called FICA taxes. FICA taxes, also known as payroll taxes, are the taxes that fund Social Security. The payroll tax for Social Security specifically is 6.2% of your income up to the first $168,600 that you earn in 2024. Now, on top of you paying 6.2%, your employer is also paying 6.2% up to that threshold. Now, there's also Medicare taxes factored into your FICA taxes, which is 1.45%, but that funds Medicare, not Social Security. The second thing to know is that Social Security is calculated based off your 35 highest years of earnings. Now, you might look at that and say, wait, I'm earning way more today than I was 20 years ago. Well, thankfully, Social Security takes that into account with inflation indexing. For example, the Social Security tax is taken on the first $168,600 earned today, but in 1994, 30 years ago, the cap was $60,600. So in other words, to fully max out your Social Security benefit 30 years ago, you would have had to have earned $60,600. But in today's dollars, that's $168,600. Social Security takes your highest 35 years of earnings and then applies that inflation adjustment to calculate your benefit. Now, if you have years where you didn't work, like let's say, for example, you only worked 30 years, then the Social Security Administration just counts a 0 for those years that you didn't work. Another thing to know is that your Social Security benefit is also means tested. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's assume one person earns $168,600 and another person earns $84,300. Let's also assume that they both did that for an inflation-adjusted basis for 35 years. Does that mean that person 1 gets double the benefit of person 2? No. The reason for that is that Social Security is means tested. The first dollars you earn have a heavier weight in calculating your retirement benefit. The exact dollar amount for 2024 is that the first $1,174 that you earn, 90% of that is included in the calculation for your benefit. From $1,174 to $7,078, 32% is included in the calculation. And then for income earned above $7,078 up to the cap of $168,600, 15% is included in the benefit calculation. So the first dollars you earn are weighted way more heavily towards your benefit than the last dollars you earn, which have less of an impact. So someone who has half the income of someone else who's hitting the cap each year would not have half the benefit. The final thing to know about Social Security is the full retirement age. For most people, it's between 66 and 67. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. If you were born before that, it starts to drop off a little bit. Now, that's not the age that you have to collect Social Security, but it is the age that you have your primary insurance amount or your full retirement age amount. You can collect as early as age 62 and take a reduction in your benefit amount, or you can wait till as late as 70. And every year you wait after your full retirement age up until age 70, your benefit goes up by 8%. So that's how Social Security works. That's how it's funded and how it's calculated. And once you understand that, now we can look at what you can do to maximize your Social Security benefit in retirement. So what are the 4 simple ways to increase your benefit? Number 1, working for 35 years. Now, maybe you've only worked 32 years and you hear this and you go, I don't want to work another 3 years. Well, remember, the first $7,078 that you earn has the highest weight towards your benefit. So I'm not saying work another 3 years in your current position, which may be stressful or too burdensome, but instead that one of the ways to maximize your Social Security benefit is to at least put in the work to fill up that $7,078 of employment income. This way you get the more heavily weighted percentage and you don't have years of 0 in your calculation. So this isn't saying that you should go get a full-time job, but just maybe you can do something to put a little bit more into your Social Security benefit to squeeze as much out of that as you can. Number 2, wait longer to collect. Every year that you collect before your full retirement age, depending on how far away you are from it, you're taking a 5% to 6.67% reduction in benefit. The earlier you collect, the less of a benefit you receive. Social Security looks at this and says, okay, you want to take your benefit early? No problem. But since we're going to be paying you for more years, we're going to reduce the monthly amount. Now, if you wait until after your full retirement age, you get something called delayed retirement credits. And what that that basically means is your benefit goes up by 8% per year that you wait until age 70. Now, at age 70, your Social Security benefit stops growing. So if you haven't started taking it by then, you might as well start. Number 3, understanding spousal benefits. When you go to collect Social Security, you may have two options. Now, your Social Security benefit is based off of your 35 highest years of earnings. But on top of that, you're also eligible for a spousal benefit if you're married. Now, a spousal benefit is half of your spouse's benefit at their full retirement age. And keep in mind, this also applies to ex-spouses. If you were married for 10 years or more, even if you're no longer married, you're still eligible for a spousal benefit. So when you look at this, you should compare the two. If 100% of your benefit is less than the 50% of your spouse's benefit, you might want to consider taking your spousal benefit. This is usually most applicable when one spouse stayed home to take care of the kids, or maybe didn't work for a number of years, or earned significantly less. So even if you never paid a dime into Social Security, if your spouse or ex-spouse has, you may be eligible for a benefit based off their record. Number 4, understanding survivor benefits. If your spouse or ex-spouse passes, you become eligible for 100% of their benefit. And this opens up some really interesting planning points. For example, you could take your survivor benefit of 100% until you reach age 70, allowing your personal benefit to mature to its highest amount, and then switch to your benefit at that time if it's higher. Or maybe you do the opposite and you collect your benefit first, allowing your survivor benefit to keep growing. So I hope that's helpful for you to understand. Once you know how Social Security works, you can start to see the ways in which you can work to increase and maximize your lifetime Social Security benefit. Once again, I'm Cary Green, co-founder of Green Era Financial. And if you're interested in finding out how we help our clients at Green Era Financial get the most out of life with their money, visit us at greenerafinancial.com.